Welcome back everyone. I'm excited today because I'm going to be installing several intake mods to my Golf R. We're finally getting into that nice turbo weather, so I want to make sure that this turbo is able to breathe as much of it as possible. So I went ahead and picked up a CTS open air intake. I also got their turbo muffler delete and their turbo inlet pipe. So stick around. This is not going to be a how-to video. This is going to be more of me taking you guys along on the journey. But I will go ahead and put the links down in the description for the videos that I used as reference for me doing this. So I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so here you have the CTS open air intake kit. Then this is the turbo muffler delete. And here you have the turbo inlet pipe. So much bigger than the factory one. Now the way the factory air flows, you see this opening that goes all the way through, annoyingly so. But anyway, up there is where it actually draws air from. This, where you would think that there would be openings, it's actually blocked off. I'm gonna fix that. So air goes in from all the way on the other side, goes up, then down to the bottom of the air box, goes through the air filter, and here it goes through the tube to the turbo itself. Alright, so excuse how dirty it is here. I will do a proper engine detail soon. So just so you guys see, my friend, the previous owner, had actually installed a CTS turbo inlet tube, which is this here. There's a K&N panel filter here. He also deleted the snow screen that's down there. And he also added an ECS diverter valve spacer. All this stuff is great, but I want to hear the turbo, and with the enclosed box and the factory muffler, you're not gonna hear any turbo action. So we're gonna fix that today. Hey, I know a lot of people struggle with getting the PCV breather hose off the turbo inlet pipe when it comes to removing. I've seen people actually go through the process of removing the PCV so they can take that off with the pipe to separate it outside. Guys, I just want to show you what I did. It was very easy, and all I did was use a 90-degree pick. So with the 90-degree pick, what I did is I went in and I got under the hose and I just went into it until I actually released the metal spring clip. And once I released it, I just held it in place, and then with the other hand I grabbed the hose and boop, there you go. No struggle, very easy. I hope that helps someone. Hey guys, while you have access to the turbo compressor wheel, which obviously you do when you have the turbo inlet pipe out of the way, go ahead and reach in there and try to grab the end of the shaft. Be very careful with the blades, but what you're trying to do is grab the end, and you want to make sure that there is no movement on it, left to right, and you also want to make sure you can't push it forward or pull back on it. No movement on that is good. If you have play, that's a sign that you have a bad journal bearing or a thrust bearing in the turbo, and your turbo's on its way out. So that's how you would check it. I just checked mine, and thankfully everything is well. I went ahead and tried moving it up and down, left to right, no movement. I went ahead and pushed forward on it and back. It did not move at all, so that's perfect. And of course, you know, I just went ahead and lightly touched the blades, and I was able to spin it freely. So that's what you want. If you have play when you shouldn't have, go ahead and just start planning to replace that turbo. All right, so we are pretty much done removing stuff here. Turbo inlet pipe is gone. You see I have a rag in there, and also the muffler is gone as well. I've stuffed a rag in there, and the charge pipe, I did have to pull it back obviously to give myself some clearance, and I have a rag stuffed on the tube here as well. With that said, let's take a look at the differences between the turbo inlet pipes. Look at how much more massive this thing is. That's going to flow a whole lot better than the factory restricted thing. And then over here we have the factory turbo muffler. So what this does is that basically compressed air goes through here, and then you see how it has these cutouts on the middle of the tube here. What that does is that it allows the compressed air to come in here, and just basically it creates a resonance chamber, and that cancels out a lot of the noises that we want to hear. And then the air continues to flow out this way, as you can see. We are now upgrading that to this here, the CTS turbo muffler delete. And what this does is that it's actually going to make the seal here, whereas the factory one did it on the plate here, because there's not going to be any air coming out into the resonance chamber. It's going to come out straight from the turbo and go straight out. You see there, no cutouts there. We're going to be able to hear the turbo in all its glory. Another quick tip for you guys is that when you go install the muffler delete, obviously you can install it with the tape that holds the O-ring in place. So what I did is I actually packed a little bit of dielectric grease on it, Dielectric grease does not eat up rubber, so you'll be just fine, and that puts enough tension on it that it will hold it in place. Here you see the muffler delete installed, then the charge pipe reattached, and now the heat shield for the intake is in place. Then here I made the holes for the scoop, and what I did is I used a step bit, and that should give me enough airflow to go into the filter. So we'll find out now. I sped up this area because obviously I don't want you guys waiting for a whole minute before I start revving the engine. Alright, so the car sounds great just revving in the garage, so let's put some load on the engine and let's see if hopefully the microphone will pick up any sounds from the intake. Alright, let's see if we can just hear it spool up. Third gear, 3000 RPM. And just real quick, third gear. We're gonna do from first. Let's see. Over behind me. We'll stop. Let's see if we can hear that intake. You can actually hear the intake more in race mode, obviously because of the computer tuning. It's kind of right in line with the volume of my valved ECS exhaust, so which I need to make a video of that for you guys. First gear. Okay, this is fourth gear, 43 miles an hour. I'm just gonna let it spool up. This is so fun. All right guys, so final decision here. Absolutely worth it. And I got all the parts on a 20% discount for Labor Day weekend. So value-wise, it was definitely worth it. The intake sounds great. It feels strong. This was really fun. Not a bad second mod for the car, I have to say. Between the ECS catback, which I owe you guys a video for that. There's a whole reason why I haven't even made a video for it yet, by the way. Nothing with the ECS, but it's just how I got the car. But between the catback and now the CTS intake, CTS turbo inlet pipe, and the muffler delete, this thing sounds phenomenal. I'm very happy with it, and at the end of the day, it's not obtrusive. It just sounds good. It sounds like what a performance car should without being obnoxious, and that's what I wanted. So I'm very happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed what I shared with you. If you did, please give me a like, consider subscribing, and like I always say, more videos coming your way for the Jetta and now the Golf R. Thank you so much.